Okay, and Lucia, you were mentioning just working on a bunch of projects. I don't know if you had specific questions, and I see Vivian has questions. So
My
let's,
brain is over in Go Plus, so I'm sure that whatever Vivian says will stimulate something. I'm happy to let
awesome,
her go first
awesome. Let's
and
do
happy to meet
that.
you, Vivian.
I can appreciate the brain drain stuck on
Welcome.
another channel when you've got all these channels running, as I feel exactly the same way of too much of
Hmm.
the time. Yeah, I do have a particular question. My baby is about to be launched. Well, the portal registration portal open tomorrow, and
Fantastic.
there's still, waiting back for a couple of things from Marina. But one of the things that want to get in there, and I've tried watching the stuff, and I'm not really finding out how to get into it because it's about the certificate of completion because
Okay.
the video, the steps it's showing aren't existing. So
Are
apparently
you
I want to
perchance?
alter the details in the description of it because it was too long and I don't know how many characters it can handle, so I need to work on shortening it.
Oh, gotcha. You put text into one of the fields and it's a lot of text and isn't fitting.
Well, yes, and actually, DFU did it for D4U did this for me, but she was saying, this is too long. It's probably going to get cut off. So I
Yeah.
need to get in there and futz with it, but I can't find it to futz with it.
Okay, gotcha. Let me show you where all that exists, and I'm going to show you one simple switch before we start that might answer the question if there's things that aren't appearing. Actually, though, if Marina's already working on it, it's probably not in simple mode, but I'm gonna just
Ah,
show that anyway because people watch this and if a
yes.
particular thing isn't appearing, the first thing we want to do is check simple and pro mode. I have too many screens going on here. Okay. And then I'll show you where we edit those. Just keep in mind that there's so much that can be done with the certificates on if you're using the straight template, and then if you want to customize it more, there's always the option to have the team create a custom certificate for you.
Yeah, I saw that. I
So,
don't need to go that
yeah.
route yet. I'm still in early mode.
Okay, okay. Then we'll work with
Yeah.
the availability that is
So
in.
So I know it already exists in there that I chose the thing and that they created it, but I need to trim down the verbiage.
Yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. If it's a ton of text, then it's not going to work. So yeah, basically we'll want to just keep it in about the amount of text that is there in the example. And so I'll go ahead and start from scratch just to run through the whole thing real quick, and you'll have
Uh-huh.
the video to look
Beautiful.
at if you need. But the first
Which I
thing I
probably will.
mentioned, always good. The first thing just to always keep in mind if there is something that's not appearing that is a feature and you're like, why is that not here?
Mhm.
Just very first thing is to go into your account and in account tab, just check to make sure that under miscellaneous settings, you're on pro mode and not simple.
Okay.
That's
Mhm.
probably not the case for you, Vivian, because of
Okay.
done for you already working in your account, but I just want that loud and clear on the video. Check that first. And then let's go into a course and we'll just walk through start to finish how you would set up a
Okay.
certificate, including making adjustments. So I'm going to open up my course first. And I'm going to go into step 5 of the experience, which is the experience
Hmm.
engine. And anytime I'm going to create a new certificate, I'm going to start with create
Hmm.
new, and I'm going to use create from playbook because this is going to set up for me the workflow that I need.
Says,
So I'm going to click create from playbook. And this opens up a a gallery of a bunch of
Stuff.
options. And of course, we want the completion certificate. So I'm going to choose this, and I clicked on it, and it gets added to my course. So here it is. And before we go step by step, I think it's important to just think about automations overall and how this is working, because there's a common mistake that can happen in here when people are testing their certificates. Again, I don't think this is you, Vivian, but because this is so common, I just want to run through it.
Yeah, sure.
So here is the entire automation. And as always, here's the automation, and I could click this little menu on the right to open it up. I see a pathway, which is all students by default. No need to change that unless you need to. And here is what happens inside the automation when the trigger starts, or when the trigger starts things moving. This automation's trigger is when course is completed.
Mhm.
If we wanted to change that, we could. But then what's going to happen when the course is completed? As soon as this trigger fires, it's going to call a webhook. And this is the important piece, and you don't need to technically understand how this works. You just need to know that this has to happen in
Mhm.
order to generate the unique certificate for the student
Mhm.
and create, with their specific name.
Right.
And then there's an email here that basically says, hey, student, here's your certificate. And the reason I'm pausing on this is because a really common thing that people do is they go in and they try to test this certificate by
Mhm.
just sending the email. And that's not going to do anything if the webhook
Right.
isn't run. So
Yeah.
that's the important piece. And that's the one we're going to open up now and look at, because this webhook is going to have, as you mentioned, a bunch of default text. So when you are getting ready to run this, there are only a couple of things you really need to do if you're using a certificate from the gallery. You
Mhm.
have to enter your own admin email account that tells the system where to look and how to make everything happen.
Okay.
And you need to enter the certificate ID, which you would have
The
selected
number. Yeah.
from our gallery.
Mhm.
So like 1 through 17 or whatever it
Mhm.
is. And that's going to say which template to use. And
Mhm.
then there is a certain amount of text here that you can modify, but what you're
Mhm.
running into, Vivian, is
That one.
somewhere in here, there's more text than this.
Yeah. And does it say somewhere in there how much there can be? Because I know examples might always be on the slim side, because why get all flowery when you're just trying to provide an example for somebody? So it's
Yeah, well, the thing is that the template is built around this text, so I
Mhm.
would keep it very close to what you're seeing here. I
Okay.
wouldn't try like doubling or tripling this amount of text. If it needs a
Yeah,
couple more words, that shouldn't be an issue.
I
But
need a bunch more.
basically,
Yeah.
like, this is what the template is set up to
Mhm.
hold. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes. Hmm. Okay.
So, um, does that make sense as far as where to look to adjust it? Or
Because when I tried myself to get there, so if like I'm in my course, so if I go down to number 5, which is experience in engine
uh-huh.
automation, and I can see the place where it is down at the bottom, the certificate of completion, and I punched the little carrot on the little down carrot on the right to get the other goodies.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see is, like not a trident, but well, a path,
Mm-hmm.
line, and then a two fork path to the right. And one says, who should go down this path? And the other says, add a new path. So of those, oh, let's see.
So you
So
want to
I don't
click
think that's what
there.
I did. So if under the certificate label category line item, before the little forks come down,
Mhm.
see, so I close it. Then the three dot menu, not the hamburger, but the sideways hamburger.
Mhm.
Click on edit, and then it brings up several things, but not that whole list of things under the webhook, because I'm not seeing webhook as an option. Just starting a trigger, safety first, the experience allowed to run, and
Gotcha. Yeah. I
only.
see
That's the
exactly what you're
stuff I'm
doing.
seeing.
Okay, so you mentioned clicking on the little arrow to open up
Uh-huh.
and you saw pathways, and then you'll need to click to open up the pathway.
Oh, so we do want to be there. All righty.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I click down there, and who should go down this path? And then I click that caret next to who should go down this path.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, now I see webhook and the call webhook and your certificate. So, oops, now I've got the whole screen. Um, so on this, I'm not going to click anything here yet. I'm just going to say under call webhook, the little sideways three dot menu, would I click in edit to find the listing of
You can just
things within?
click directly on, let's see, edit will probably go to it too. Yeah, you can either click edit or you can just click directly on the words call
On the
webhook,
word.
and
Okay.
that's going
Okay.
to
Yeah. Now
open
I
it up.
see all the things. And there is details. Okay. From that, I can go do that. Awesome. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Yeah, Lucia's asking, what is a webhook? And it's, yeah, great question. It's a, yeah, great question. It's basically, it's how different places in the internet talk to each other. It's sending some information and saying, hey, thing that exists over here in internet world, talk to my platform and do this thing. You know Zapier, Lucia? Kind of like it's the same kind of idea. We have two different things that exist and we're saying we need to talk back and forth between them, and the webhook is like a it's called a call or a piece of information that talks between them.
Okay, so is it my language be like a little mini API or something, or like I don't know.
Yeah, you can think of it just like connecting.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, my next question is, when you were going through that, go back to where you found your certificate ID. You said it was from the template, the identifier, but is
Exactly.
it, or is it something that we define? So could you
So,
just walk just that
yeah,
second section again, please?
for sure. Do you
That's the
want
only
me to
place I
go
got lost.
to where? Yeah, that makes sense, especially because there's a whole step that is located in a different place. So I'll back up, but I'll also tell you where. So we clicked playbook, right? And that automatically made the automation appear, right?
Yeah, so that was where the selection came up and we got to scroll down and choose certificate of completion.
Exactly. We chose certificate
Wrong.
of completion. One reason this is may not be super clear is that I would have already gone to the help center and looked at a gallery of templates and made a selection. So I can show you where to do that, but I already would have a
Yeah.
number in mind, and that number is what I'm popping in here.
So
We
is
go
it a
look at
number
the
you chose or that we choose?
you as the course creator would choose this, and the way if we go to the help center toggle here or tab here, and I'm going to search for certificate, and I'm going to pull up the certificates of completion doc. And find, where is my gallery? Let me find where this exists. Here we go. There's a link to certificate gallery,
Mm.
and it's 20 styles, not 17. And you're going to see all of these options.
So we go Help Center, and then we type in certificate, and then we go to certificate gallery. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And you're going to go, all right, I want that one. It's number 7. So 7 is the number I'm going to be popping into
Okay,
the
okay.
webhook.
Can we brand these with our colors or whatever?
So that is a different kind of option you could do, which is creating your own custom certificate. If you're
Okay.
using the template ones, it's not possible to modify anything, but it's just $50 if you want to have the team create your own template that is branded to you. And
Can we just pop in a Canvas certificate or something?
yeah, exactly. You'll design it and you'll send, I'll hop back to the help center
Sorry, have
doc
I taken you
again.
down my ADHD path? Sorry about that.
Not at all. You're going exactly where it makes sense.
I like
Don't have to
continuity
make
of
sense
brand.
either. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. So let me go back to the certificates help doc. And there is an option here, using your own custom certificate. And this is going to give you the steps and exactly what you need to send the team.
Okay.
So it's going to tell you PNG files are best. That's going to give the best detail. It's going to give you the
And yet
dimension.
we can still do all the input in that place we were earlier, but it's just going to go on our blank.
Exactly.
Or do
Yeah.
we do the whole, or do we do the whole shoot and match in Canva and just load it in as a PNG or something?
Here's exactly what you're going to do is you're going to do one that is a sample all filled out with like an example name, and you're going to do
Okay.
one that's blank and it has a blank space wherever a name or any piece of information would go. And that makes it really clear to the team what is meant to be
What
filled, what's what is information that's meant to be automatically generated. You're going to tell the team the Google font that you want to be used, because that's what they're going to use to like write the name. It's going to be in the font you want. So this right here is exactly what you need. And
you say giving it to the team, does that mean we're paying to do a customized?
yes.
Or...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That is all here. And yeah, that is how it works. And
$50 for setup.
Yeah, $50 an hour, and that covers almost all certificates, unless it was something super crazy, which is unusual. And once that's done, you will have a special certificate code that you'll use for that. So if we went back to our setup and we looked at putting in the certificate code, in this case, instead of using a number, the team would have given you a special code like Lucia or whatever it is, and you would just put that certificate code right here. And then you would, again, just put your account email in.
So the only way to get a brand appropriate certificate of completion is to pay Experienceify to do it.
Correct. Well, you can do, I mean, assuming you want it integrated with the platform and automatically sending through the system to your students.
Right. Okay. And does XP have brand boards yet?
Brand boards meaning,
A brand board like we have in Go Plus and most other softwares where we like load in our colors and our fonts and stuff like that.
there's a certain amount you can do of clicking to customize like your font size and text the whole way. That
Mm.
happens in the setting. There's
Okay.
some other
All right.
things, there's some more in the works, which is why I'm curious to know like specifically what you want to see when you say brand board, like what would love to know like specifically what that looks like for you.
I want to be able to, for example, all my headings are in font number X, and then all my subheadings are in font number.
That we can
It's not a
do.
number. I'm saying letters. Dur.
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. I'm
Right.
with you.
So that there's continuity of presentation,
Yeah.
but efficiently where we can go and grab from our brand board instead of having to manually do everything all the time.
hmm So one thing we can do already is automatically set a unified font, and we can hop over there and look at that. Before we leave here, is this making sense? Vivian, you got where to go to?
I've got where to go, but when I went into, edit to look the webhook and see the details and stuff, then but below it says your certificate, like the one, what should be set up for mine, the thing that's under webhook. And when I opened that just to edit to see what was in there to see how my name appeared and what appeared, there's nothing there's nothing that belongs to me in there. Is that something I'm not going to see in this?
You'll want to run a sample one, and actually it would be great for us to go really quickly through how to generate a sample certificate, because that's the place I was mentioning that people tend to
Yeah, because
do it.
I don't want to go in there and mess something up.
Yeah, totally, totally. Okay. Let's go ahead and run a sample.
But to be able
Again,
to find out what fits in, that field that
yeah,
I'm
totally.
focusing on, but
Yeah,
also
you
just to
need
see what it looks like.
to see exactly how the final product looks. Yeah. So again, we are at
Right.
step 5 inside your course,
Hmm.
and we've got everything set up to go. So right now, once I turn this on, this automation is ready to run when the trigger happens. And again, just to remember the steps that have to happen is the webhook. We need the webhook to fire so that it actually generates a certificate. And then it's going to send an email to a person with a link to their certificate. Just sending the email won't do anything. So what we want to do to test this is we don't want you as the course owner to have to go through and check off every action to just run a certificate.
Testing.
And by the way, that's what
Mhm.
course completed means. If we are using the starting trigger, course completed for any automation, that's defined as all XPs are checked off.
Okay.
So I don't want to have to go through and do that to test. So I'm going to set up a test by changing my starting trigger and run a test certificate for myself, right? So to do that, I'm going to open up this option here that says change starting trigger. And we'll see that right now our starting trigger is course completed. Again, that's defined as all XPs checked off. But we could set this starting trigger to be anything we want just to
Okay.
make a certificate
Yes.
happen.
Okay.
So a great way to do this is by doing a test by setting the starting trigger to tag added. And I'm going to make up a tag right now called test cert.
Mhm.
here is an important thing to think about when we're testing and playing with automations. Right now, this experience is set to run once only per student. And it's likely that I'm going to test 2 or 3 times. So I
Mhm.
probably want to go ahead and change this to run as often as triggered.
Okay.
If I want to be safe, I could change it back when I'm done testing.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
right now I'm testing and I want to be able to probably just run it. Lucia, you look like you have a question. No? So I'm going to go ahead and update this.
No, this is just me sticking my nose in my camera because I'm visually impaired, right? So I always have my nose up people's cameras.
Excellent. Zoom that in a little bit more. All right, so we're going to update this. Oh, wait, did this get my tag?
Grab the tag. Oh, you'd made it, but hadn't grabbed it, I guess.
It
Okay.
didn't grab it. So I'm going to click update. And now we have a new trigger for this certificate. The certificate of completion will happen when and if the user receives test cert tag. And if I open that up again, I could still see all of the paths, what's going to happen. It's going to generate a certificate and send it to the appropriate person. So I'm going to make sure that is all saved. I'm probably going to refresh and just make sure everything is saved. And
when if we're be testing our own course certificate, we would be wanting to use an email that's not our account email. Would that be correct?
yes, that is
Okay.
correct. Very good point.
How
So
do we
I've got
send
that
the test?
saved. What's that?
How is the test sent so we can
Yeah,
verify?
that's what we're where
Oh,
we're headed.
I'm ahead of you.
Great,
I
great
apologize.
question. So
I apologize.
you're right on track, and I'm just making sure before I click over to the students section that I've got everything saved and everything turned on, because if anything wasn't toggled on, my test wouldn't work.
Right. Okay.
So I've definitely got it all set up. My trigger is ready to go as many times as needed. As soon as the user receives test cert tag, it's going to generate and send a certificate. And so once I've got that, I'm going to hop to my students section. I'm going to find or create a test student. And I'll go ahead and use a test student here, like this one. And what I'm going to do is just select this student. I'm going to go up to my menu at the top of the screen here, and I'm going to do the action to add a tag. Click apply. It's going to ask me which tag I want, and I want tag test cert. I'm going to save the changes, and that applies that tag. And now in the background, this should be generating and sending me a certificate. And if I open this student's profile, I'm going to see exactly what happened. So let's see if it worked. I've got her courses and I've got the student's activity, right?
Okay.
This is my key. I'm going to open up the student's activity log and make sure that test cert was added via the tag button. And if I were to hop over to my email right now, it should have sent me a certificate.
Okay.
But that is the way to do it.
So how did we see whether this was successful within the XP platform? Or did
Through
we?
the activity log.
Oh, do you want to click on it? Sorry, I didn't see the log. Ah, there we go.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And
And
Yeah.
when they're setting this up, that they also set it to generate the completion email to you as the account holder, right?
When they're
When they're
setting this
generating
up,
the
do they
certificate.
generate a completion email to you as the account holder? So to answer that, you're going to want to look in your course
Hmm.
and look at what automations are set up. So we're going to open up step 5. We're going to see exactly what automations are created. And I would be looking for an automation that was triggered by course completed. It could be the same automation as my certificate with an additional action, or it could be an entirely new automation.
Oh, okay.
But I
So
would,
now you are in what are you under right there where you looked at it? Was that under the call webhooks or the actual or the who should go down this path? I get that
so,
you're in the engines, you're
uh-huh. So
in the experience
if I'm
engine.
wondering if a particular automation is set up to do something, I'm going to
Uh-huh.
look in step 5 and I'm going to
Oh,
see
okay. Yeah.
what automations I have created.
Ah, okay. Then I'm not seeing that. I'm only seeing the one certificate of completion when slash if course completed. I've only seen one instance of that. So that means they
Okay,
would only
you
have
want
set
to
it up to go to the student and not also to me.
So we have
correct.
to
You
set
want
it
to
up
set that up.
separately?
You want to look at how to set up a notification email to yourself. That's
Well,
pretty
I had that in the instructions, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't seeing if it was already there. I wanted to make sure if it was already there, and apparently it's not already there.
okay. Yeah, so that is how you would see it, is by looking
Okay.
at the automations.
Okay.
I want to look at how to set that up, or are you good on that?
Well, I don't want to go in there and do it but I thought I didn't know this aspect of how to get into this, so I
Mhm.
didn't ask Marina that question. So if we could look at it, that would be helpful.
Absolutely, yeah. This is should be pretty quick. So anytime we want to create an automated action, we're going to need
Mhm.
to have a trigger that makes it happen, and then we're
Right.
going to have the action. This can happen in its own automation, or it can be a part of an existing automation.
Okay.
Meaning, if I already have something happening
For that.
when the student is completing the course, like sending a
Hmm.
certificate, I can just add another action, send
Ah,
me a
okay.
notification. So let's look at it that way. And this is good because we are kind of breaking it down and putting it back together, but I think that's good for
Okay.
understanding it. So remember, for testing purposes, we changed the starting trigger here,
Right.
but ultimately we're going to change that back, right?
Right.
To either course completed, or just to keep in mind, because people always ask this, what if you don't, course completed as defined as they checked off every single XP? What
Hmm.
if that's too strict and I don't want them to have to do that? Maybe I have a different way that I want the certificate to be triggered. Maybe it's just when they complete the final module or training, maybe that's good enough for me. So point is that it's up to you as the course owner what determines completion. But
Right. Okay.
for purpose of this example, we'll just go with course completed.
Okay.
So they've checked off every action. Maybe I'll switch that back to like once only or even once a
Hmm.
day or something. So I'm going to update my starting trigger. So again, just to click out a little bit, I've got the entire automation here with a starting trigger. I click on the arrow to open up one or more paths. And then I click on the path to open up the actions that are going to happen. So
Okay. Hmm.
trigger, and then we go down this path. And what we want to do is have the steps we already have, but we
Mhm.
also want just another action to
Ah,
happen
okay.
based on the course being completed, which is our trigger. And the action is going to be an email to myself. So to set that up, I'm going to just hover over
Okay.
this section here to see this
Mhm.
plus sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to click that plus sign. And I've got options for what I want to do. I'm going to click email builder, and that is going to take me into the email editor. And here is where I'm just going to set up an email to myself.
Are there any email templates we can grab to?
I'm not sure. I don't think so, but this one is pretty
Pretty
quick.
short. Yeah.
All we need is so-and-so completed.
Mhm.
So keep in mind, we can hit
If
the
we were
forward
sending it to a
slash key.
student or something, there's no email templates in XP to play with?
What we're looking at here is sending a notification to yourself.
Yeah, I know.
If you're looking for general email templates, then you would click select playbook, and there's loads of email templates to send to students. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll hit the forward slash key anytime we want to pop in a token,
Okay.
which is going to automatically populate information. So I'm going to
Mhm.
hit my forward slash key, and that's going to pull up my
Tokens
menu.
are fields for you guys, right? Tokens are a field for you guys?
Token is all of these that we're looking at, yeah. So this is going to me. So if I want to, I can put my own
Mhm.
first name in here. And then I want to just let myself know that somebody completed the course.
Great.
And now I've got an email to myself. If I want more info, I can add more.
Mhm.
But I'm going to always make sure to label this email really clearly. This is just internal for myself, but this is
Okay.
going to make my life much easier when I
Oh,
need to
yeah.
look at what happened. So I'm going to label it something like that. I'm
Mhm.
going to go in. I could even put the tokens in the title if I want to make it really simple for myself and not
Okay.
even open the email.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right. So got everything in there. Once I'm good with that, here is the very, very important part. Let me get out of that. Who is the email going to go to? We don't want this to go to the student.
Yeah.
We want it to go either to me, which is the
Mhm.
admin address on file,
Okay.
or maybe I
Oh,
want
no.
it to go to my VA.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I'm going to save and close that. I'm going to make sure it's
Mm,
toggled on.
mm, mm, mm.
And now I have one beautiful chain of action that says
Okay.
this thing
Okay.
happens, and that makes this happen, then that happen, then that happen. Since there's no delay timers here, these all happen
It just instant.
simultaneously.
Okay.
If
All
I
right.
wanted something more like a series of things to happen, something and then tomorrow
Mhm.
and then in an hour, I could set that up with adding delay
Ah.
timers. And then
So, well, like if you wanted their certificate was generated and then a couple of days later, Yahoo! So congratulations on having completed your thing, blah 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 blah. Hope you're going doing XYZ. Something like that.
exactly,
Could be generated.
exactly.
Okay, great.
We could just put in a delay
A
timer
little
of one or
Mini
more
nurture
days
after class.
or totally, yeah,
Yeah, that's the upsell. That's the upsell opportunity for sure.
definitely, yeah. Here's where we would click
Very
pre-written
cool.
email.
Oh, okay.
And if we wanted to start with whatever's in here, so these
Okay.
aren't upsells, but these are
Mhm.
some common ones.
Yeah,
Or
cool.
again, just write your own.
Very good.
But yeah, that's really important to, I think, to keep these straight is that there's
Yes,
a
have it
trigger, and
together.
then if there's no delay timers, everything is immediate. So
Mhm.
everything before the delay timer is all at once.
Okay.
Then we could have a delay, action, and so on.
While we're in this space, is it okay if I ask you uh, two other questions in relation to this?
Yeah, let's do that. No, we still will go after that and go look at
Okay.
the
Y- y-
text, but yeah, go
You,
for it.
okay. You talked about if they absolutely do every action.
Right.
Could you change to this? Both questions have to do with this. If you could change that, like to say 90% of the actions, or you calculate the 90% and say if they complete at least, you know, 108, 195 of 205 actions, they will get
Mm-hmm.
their certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Could also, because in mine there's 6 modules, and then but I have a certificate at the end because I want to do a post survey and to do a quiz, survey be quiz. Um, I can't have multiple actions in the survey. They have to be individual actions. So I'm having the last module be that survey and program feedback stuff. And once they've completed that final module 7, she has it to trigger the certificate. But can it be that they only need to complete X amount of the XPs, but that a certain set of them were mandatory, like that last module? Is that a
Yep,
possibility?
it absolutely is. You have
Woohoo!
just described a great use case for pathways.
Because that's to me, if they miss a few things, this is a 9-week daily course. If they miss a few things that aren't pivotal, that's peachy fine. But
Mm-hmm.
I want them to do their pre-survey and their post-survey because that's for this certificate that I'm making, it verifies their active, certain kind of level of participation. So they're not getting CEUs for the course, but they need to prove that they were
Gotcha. Yeah,
proactively in this thing that can happen. So could
excellent.
you please show us how to do that? Because that is really important to me.
Absolutely. Yep. We will, let me
Yay.
go through an overview of that and then we will look at the text settings and welcome. I see Wenping. Do I have your name right? Wenping Sophia Lee.
Yeah, Wenqing
Welcome.
was Sophia, both fine.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Good to see you. All right. So we're gonna do an overview of how to look at how to set up sending a certificate only if a certain set of things happen. And basically, this is where we use the pathways if we want to create an action only if certain conditions have happened.
Okay, perfect.
So what we would have done is we would have set up tags for whatever things we need people to do. So for example, when someone completes a mandatory action, they would get a tag. I'll just start with that one as an example. So let's say the tag was whatever we're going to call it. I'm going to change my pathway here that instead of the default all students going down this pathway, it's only going to be for students who completed essay 1.
Okay.
All right, that's just a tag I have here. So now let's look at what we have set up. When this happens, course completed, which in this case, now that one doesn't really make sense in this case, so I'm going to change it to like final module completed.
Okay.
So here is what is set up now. When module 2 is completed, there's a pathway. Who should go down this pathway? Only students with tag SA1 done.
Mm,
And what's going to
Okay.
happen? Everything that's supposed to happen.
okay.
Makes sense? So
Yes.
that can get as complex as you would like. You would just need to
Okay.
do everything to set up your tags and
Alrighty.
make the starting thing a tag.
Okay.
So that is certificates. I
Thank you.
think we covered that. Yeah, you're welcome. We're going to look at font text. And while I'm hopping over there, Wenping, sorry, tell me again. Wenping, am I getting your name right? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I have that
Yeah,
right. Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Looks
Yeah.
like you have a question. All right. And tell me your question in a nutshell, if it's possible, Wenping, while I am
Yeah.
hopping.
Oh, okay. Yes. So when I set up the essay answers for students,
Mm-hmm.
and I signed in as a student to try and found out that I can repeat. I can repeat the essay. I continually get the score XP for that one answer. So
Okay,
what can I do to limit like they can only give one answer or something?
Mm.
Okay. I'm going to want to look at that a little bit more in just a second and make sure I'm fully tracking, but thank you. Thank you for that. I'm going to hop in first into looking at setting up text. So I went into step 4 where I am customizing my pages, right? And creating the look of my pages for my students. And when I'm in step 4, I can edit any block by clicking Edit Content. And within editing the content, I'm going to open up the column. And I can open up any field of text right here. Let's go ahead and open the headline, which right here is welcome first name. I'm going to click the little arrow to customize the text right here. And you'll see that I've got the wording right here, and I've got the text type, but I've also got this little gear icon, right? And if I click this gear icon, I can get much more granular about how I want to set this up. Lucia, you already familiar with this little gear icon? So
Yep.
what I can do is click here to update this style across all pages.
Very nice.
And what is that going to do? So it's in the direction. I mean, it's one step of what you want, Lucia. It's obviously not an entire click for
Oh, actually, it's
everything.
pretty good. I don't mind it.
But that's going to change. What it's going to update is anything that is a headline. And that's where these categories become important.
In this course, not across all courses, right?
Right. Yeah.
Shazam. Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Does to
Awesome.
me.
Okay, fantastic. Cool. Then let's look at, okay, Wenping, tell me again, you set up an essay question, and tell me again, you want people to only be able to answer at once? What's happening? Oh, go and take yourself off mute.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that when I answered the question
Mm-hmm.
and I move my cursor away, but it automatically kind of clear the answer, and when I move the cursor to
Oh,
the answer space, when I can click the answer again, so I get I get the point continuously and automatically.
Are you testing in your admin preview view?
No, I signed in as a student to
Okay.
try.
Okay. So here's, let me see if I'm following, and you can let me know if this is answering it or not. So you signed in as a student and you are looking at an essay question and you're answering the essay question. So the way the points work
Yes.
is that to actually get the points, you will need to click like done or completed or whatever the final click is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at
Yes.
preview just.
So it cleared the check mark automatically.
Mhm.
So I click it again, and then I get the point again.
So if you click to like undo it, I'll log into a preview so I can say exactly what I'm talking about. If you click
Yeah,
to
I can
like
show you.
unselect
I can
the
show you. Uh,
let me go ahead and just demo real quick kind of how it works, just because we only have a couple minutes left and I need to hop off at the top of the
okay.
hour. But there are a couple of different things that could potentially be happening.
Okay.
And the way the points work is that as the student, if you click to unselect your action, like you can click done, but then you could click again and it would unselect it, right? But that's going to remove the points. Let me go into a visual to see if this will make a little more sense. So right now I'm in admin preview, but if I'm watching as a student, I click done, that's going to give me points. It won't show right now because of admin preview mode. I could click undone and redo my essay, but that's going to remove my points. It's not going to keep adding 1 point every time I click and unclick. Does that make sense?
It makes sense in this
How it's
situation,
supposed
but
to?
it,
Okay.
it, it doesn't appear in my situation. That's why I'm here. I didn't know why.
Okay,
It
gotcha.
automatically uncheck it. So after I submit, I click it and get it done. But when I
Okay,
move my cursor away, it automatically uncheck it.
gotcha. Okay. That's starting to sound more like a browser level glitch at the first place that we would want to just do a couple of steps to clear. There is what I'm going to do, and Ping, is I'm going to point you to a couple of steps to try. And if something isn't looking right after that, you can just drop an email to the support desk and I'll tell you exactly what information to send. And the team will very quickly be able to see what's going on. But if we go to our help center and click here to pull up the help center, the first article we want to search for is called Fast Fixes. That's just going to give you some steps to go through. Also, make sure, general thing when pinging, just for the recording for everyone, always make sure you are working in different browsers as admin and student. If you're like building your course and you're testing, make sure you're not in the same browser, different tabs. That's going to confuse things. But first, just run through the steps here. And after that, if something isn't looking right, just search for bug, pull up this help doc, and just go ahead for us and copy and paste these 7 things. And just so we know exactly where to look, your email address, the course name, give us an exact example, like even if it's happening a bunch of places, say go to module 2 training 1, type in the essay, and then see what happens. And in your case, Wenping, if you can just send a quick screen video, be like, see, here's what's happening. And
Mm.
super important, just send the email address of one student, one example student, could be you, who it happened for. And once the team has
Okay.
that, we'll very, very quickly have an answer about exactly what's happening.
Mm.
But that sounds
All
like
right.
it might be a browser or just glitchy thing to be cleared. So let me know if that helps, and if that doesn't take care of it, we will get that solved for you.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. I will try that.
All right, my friends. Thank you. Thank you. Great stuff. Thank you for all of the awesome questions. Have
Thank
a
you.
fantastic rest of your day. And I
Thank you,
will see you
Rachel.
Thank you.
soon.
Mm.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Mm.
Bye.